The call came from a motel clerk just after dawn. Room 214 hadn't checked out. That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the smell. The clerk said it started sometime during the night. Not strong enough at first to alarm anyone, just something off. By morning, it had spread into the hallway. Police arrived expecting the worst. Overdoses, unattended deaths, things that happen quietly behind closed doors. They knocked. No answer. They announced themselves. Still nothing. When they forced the door open, the air inside felt heavy, like the room had been sealed tight for too long. The smell hit him immediately, layered with cleaning chemicals that almost masked what was underneath. The room looked normal. Bed made, towels folded, no signs of struggle, no obvious reason for the smell. Until one officer stepped toward the bathroom. The tile floor was damp. Not wet, just slightly wrong. He pushed the door open. The bathtub had been scrubbed so thoroughly it reflected the light above it. But something dark had settled into the seams of the grout, faint lines that no amount of cleaning had erased. Inside the tub were small plastic bags. Sealed, labeled. The officer didn't open them right away. He didn't have to. He already knew. The investigation moved fast after that. The room had been rented under a fake name, but security footage showed the man clearly. Middle-aged, plain, the kind of face that never stayed in your memory long enough to describe later. He checked in alone. He carried only one bag. And he left before sunrise, wheeling a second bag behind him. Detectives tracked his vehicle through traffic cameras. It led them out of the city, down a stretch of highway that cut through miles of empty land, then onto a narrow dirt road that ended at a small, isolated property. The house looked abandoned, but the power was on. When officers entered, they found the same pattern. Clean, controlled, almost sterile. The smell was there too, faint but unmistakable. In the back of the house was a locked door. Behind it, a staircase. The basement below wasn't large, but it had been carefully prepared. Plastic lined the walls. A drain sat in the center of the floor. Shelves held containers, each labeled with dates written in precise handwriting. There were tools, cleaned, organized, placed exactly where they belonged. And there were notebooks, dozens of them, each one detailed a different victim. Where he found them, how he approached them, what he said to make them feel safe. He described their routines, their habits, their moments of distraction. He studied them first, always. He wrote about their reactions, but not with anger or excitement. Just observation, timing, sequence, what worked, what didn't. He gave them numbers instead of names. Victim 1, Victim 2, Victim 3. The pattern stretched back years. When police finally found him, he wasn't hiding. He was in another motel. Different city, same setup. When they entered the room, he was sitting at the small table near the window, writing in one of his notebooks. He didn't try to run. He looked up, almost annoyed at the interruption. At trial, the courtroom filled quickly. Families sat in silence as prosecutors described what had been found in the motel and the house. The evidence was overwhelming. The notebooks were worse. They revealed a man who didn't act out of rage, but out of routine. A process he had refined over time. Each entry more detailed than the last. He spoke only once during the trial. When asked why he kept records of everything, he paused. Then said, "So I wouldn't forget them." There was no emotion in his voice. No regret, just certainty. After the conviction, the house was demolished. The basement filled. The property left empty. The motel room was cleaned, repainted, rented out again. People pass through it now without knowing what happened there. But some guests have complained. They say the room smells strange sometimes. Not strong, just enough to notice. And sometimes, late at night, they hear something from the bathroom. A soft sound, like water dripping, even when the faucet is turned off.